I have another great question from Lisa because we're all here, we're all very excited about this, but what do you see as the most efficient mechanism to educate others more broadly on like the things you are teaching about?
You know,
Sh-
it's a good question, and this is where a lot of my friends and family are getting into trouble because not everyone wants to be educated. And the last thing I think that you want to do is to try to convince or persuade someone of an idea or a belief system. I think the healthiest thing to do is to live in our lives what it is that we claim to be true in our hearts, live in our lives what we believe. Other people will see that and they will recognize that. And if they're open to it, they're going to ask the questions. They're going to say, how come you didn't get sick in this flu season and everybody else in the office is sick? This actually just happened. I was just at an automobile dealership yesterday, and it was taking them forever to get things done. And I just asked the guy, I said, what's up? He said, 60% of my crew is out with colds and flu. And he said, even the people I carpool with every day. I said, so wait a minute, you're carpooling with people who are out sick, but you're here and you look fine, you know? I said, what are you doing that they're not? And so that opened the door to a whole question. That's the way that information gets shared. When people see that you're happier, you're healthier, your life is more fulfilled, you are less fearful about the changes, then they're going to ask you why you aren't afraid, how you have stayed healthy through this flu season or whatever it is. That's the doorway then to share. But to sit around at over the holidays of the family, gathering and try to convince or persuade someone of something that flies in the face of the echo chamber of information that they have on their Facebook or their YouTube channel. You have to remember the way these algorithms work, and they're very powerful. When you look up something on Facebook or on the YouTube channel, that algorithm is now going to start feeding you all kinds of information reflecting what it is you just looked up. Now, if you don't know that, then you're going to think that everybody is seeing what you're seeing and that you're like right on top of things, that you're like in the know, when in fact you're being funneled information to support a particular viewpoint that other people aren't seeing. It's very effective. It's very dangerous if you don't know that that's happening, because it makes it difficult to embrace other viewpoints. And I'm seeing I'm in it with you guys. I'm seeing it with my friends and my family. People will say something to me, or they'll come to one of my events, and I'll talk about climate change, for example, why carbon dioxide is not a poison, and why we don't want to let the carbon dioxide levels of the earth drop below 184 parts per million, because Earth dies when that happens. And people will say to me, how come I don't know about that? How come I've never heard that before? And I say, where do you get your information? And they'll say, well, I watch the news. That's the answer right there. They're watching what is being fed to them so that they will adopt a viewpoint and support social change or political change that is reflected in that viewpoint. They're not getting the big picture. So I don't think we can convince or persuade anyone of anything, and I would never try. What I think is important is if your heart is leading you, if you're at a point in your life where you say you're feeling this impetus for change, and people are telling me this all over the world, feeling like something needs to happen, or they need to be doing something, or something needs to change in their lives. They're feeling this impetus for change. It's an evolutionary impulse is what it is. We want to move forward with the change. And if you're feeling that, then you're open to the information, but not everybody feels that at the same time, even under the same roof. I've seen this with husbands and wives, where one of them will be open to new information and the other one's not quite there yet. And then they get to embark on a journey of trust, of willingness to share the journey with another person. And there's a whole workshop of life that happens from that. So I think that is probably my experience, is to simply live in your life what you have discovered to be true. and allow other people